It is turkey season here in the Southeast. What I wanted to do was just kind of go through my turkey hunting gear with you. Now, before we kind of go through everything, I want to say I am in no way a great turkey hunter. I've enjoyed turkey hunting. I'm learning more about it. I've hunted with some guys that know way more than me, though. So don't take anything here as gospel. It's good information. Hopefully it'll get you thinking a little bit, but it's in no way a perfectly curated list of what you should have. But wanted to go through with you what I carry and why, and we'll kind of go from there. So the way I like to turkey hunt personally is I like to kind of run and gun. So I'm hunting public land primarily, and I'm looking for active birds. Frankly, I'm not a good enough turkey hunter to sit in one spot and work the same bird all day, and that's just not what I find enjoyable either. I like moving, finding stupid birds that are dumb enough to come to a novice turkey hunter like I am. My gear is kind of set up for that. On the other hand, if you like sitting in one spot working in the same bird, or you're hunting private where you don't have a lot of room, you may want some more comforts. But this is what I carry. Of course, this kind of changes depending on the trip. Pretty much everything I carry on a daily basis is what I've got with me right now. Now that's if I'm doing a morning hunt or like a half-day hunt, something along those lines. Everything really is in this Eberly stock bando bag here. Before we hop into the contents of my bag, I'll kind of talk about what's on my person here. Now, of course, jacket, pants, things like that, they're going to change depending on the trip. I've got a pair of Maven B3 8X binoculars. These are great binoculars. I love them. Honestly, if all I was doing was turkey hunting and didn't want the 8X for some other kinds of hunting that I do, a 6X binocular would probably be perfect for the hunting we do around here. Aside from those themselves, I do have them on a DIY bino harness. I've actually got a video about how I make this bino harness. It's very similar to a Rick Young bino harness, if that's something you're familiar with. In my pocket, I've always got a Spyderco Delica. Great little knife, great for processing a turkey or cutting down some limbs, things like that if I need to make a shooting lane or anything along those lines. Otherwise, really the only other thing I carry down in this small pocket here, I do carry a shotgun shell. That's kind of my backup shotgun shell. After I make that first shot or two, then I keep one in my pocket just to have it handy. Otherwise, some stuff from my pack will migrate to my pockets throughout the day. So this is how I carry this pack most of the time. First thing I've got here, just slid between the pack itself and my body, is a really thin sit pad. This is great for keeping your bottom off the cold ground or wet ground. It's not super padded. You can double it up to give yourself a little bit more padding. Granted, I've got a little bitty butt, so that's enough room for me. If you're a bigger guy, you're gonna need more real estate here. Flipping the pack around, this Eberly stock bando bag is really kind of the centerpiece of my whole turkey hunting kit. It's a fine bag. There are some features about it I really like and some features I don't like about it. If you want to know more about that, I actually made a review of this pack as well as highlighted some modifications I did to this pack too. I'm going to put those videos in the description for you too. First thing in this little front pocket, I do have a couple extra shotgun shells. I have a total of 5 shotgun shells. I keep 2 on my shotgun, 1 in my pocket, and I keep 2 in here as well. I keep a number 7 in here and a 9.5 TSS both. And I talk about that in my shotgun video. Up front here is just a small diaphragm call. So that diaphragm call is usually in my lapel pocket here, or it's in my mouth. But this is where I keep it for safekeeping, traveling, that kind of stuff. Sorry about my dog too. Main pocket here is kind of my bread and butter. So in here, I've got a pair of lightweight gloves as well as a real lightweight face covering. Usually this stuff is going to be in these pockets as I'm hunting throughout the day. That's just mostly for concealment, not so much for warmth. If it is colder, I'll use a thicker buff of some sort to keep me warm. Otherwise, in this pocket, I've got a crow call. I have got a pot call here. This is my primary call that I use. Again, I'm not a great turkey hunter, so the pot calls worked great for me. This is a crystal over slate here. I like that because it lets me get that loud kind of piercing sound if I'm trying to call turkeys from further out, kind of locating birds. Also, if it's windy, anything like that, then that crystal is nice. The slate is good for my more detail work, softer calls, purrs. As far as the striker I've got, this is a JT Calls striker that came with this pot call. It's an all-weather striker, so it works great whether it's rainy, wet. Next thing in this front compartment, in this little zippered portion, is where I just keep some kind of miscellaneous stuff should I need it. I've got a Brillo pad. I've got some alcohol wipes for cleaning off my slate if it starts getting some like oil or something like that on it. Keep a couple spare diaphragm calls, some different diaphragm calls, and then also keep a Zippo lighter in here. That's pretty much with me in my pack on every trip. That's it for this pocket here. This last pocket on this bando bag is kind of what would be your concealed carry pocket typically. In here, I've got 2 additional strikers. These are in some other wood types to give myself different sounds. Between the 2 different surfaces on my pot call and 3 different strikers, what is that? Like 6 different slight variations of sound, not to mention your diaphragms. Again, you could have more options, but I prefer to run kind of light and minimal. Also in this pocket, I keep a Peloton 97 beanie from Kuiu. That's just for a little bit of added warmth. If it gets cold, just throw that on my noggin. Last thing in here, or close to last thing in here, is a Catadyne Be Free. So I've actually got the filter and the bottle separate. That just makes it a little bit easier to pack. I usually will keep some water in this to sip on as I'm hunting, but should I get thirsty or should I run out of water, if I'm hunting for a morning, half day, whatever, I can refill this and have clean water with this filter. Luckily here in the Southeast, finding water is usually not an issue, but I do need some way to filter and process that water. So this is a great solution for those situations. Otherwise in here, this is usually where I'm keeping my snacks as well. So just got a couple little like kind bars, and that's it for this kit. If I'm planning to spend more time out in the field, then I'll add a backpack to this waist pack. When I do that, some of the stuff from this waist pack will move to the backpack. Stuff like my snacks, lunch, water filter, water bottles, things like that are gonna be in my backpack, as are any layers, things to stay warm. This waist pack is always kind of the centerpiece of my turkey hunting stuff. And that way, you know, no matter how long I'm gonna be out there for, I just take this and then can kind of add and subtract other stuff as needed. As far as my backpack here, this is a Hill People Gear Terra Humera. I've had this backpack for forever. If I'm gonna be out for a longer day, I do take a little bit more substantial sit pad here. So this is a Thermarest Z-Rest that I've just cut into a 6-panel piece. This thing's awesome because you can double it up just like I talked about with that smaller pad and get a lot of cushion. Or if you want to, you know, lean against a wet tree or anything like that, you can also open this up and kind of make it into a seat to keep you really nice, comfortable, and dry. So that's great. It only weighs about 8 ounces as well. Otherwise, typically here, I've got, like I said, some layers, lunch, anything like that, and usually a bigger water bottle or 2 here as well. As far as my turkey hunting shotgun, I use a Rossi Tuffy turkey. I've made a review on this. I'll put the link in the description for this too. Back here in the back, I keep 2 shells. Otherwise, I've just painted it and it's pretty much stock. This has been a great gun and I really enjoy it. But if you're interested in this gun in particular, definitely check out that review that I posted. I go into depth on everything. I did actually just pick up this Mountain Smith Evo Drift that I'm really excited to use. It's got some really great features and some things that I think are big improvements on this bando bag. It is a little bit bigger bag, but I could really use that storage. So I'm excited to kind of put this through the paces and give a review on this before too long as well. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my turkey hunting stuff. Like always, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.